The
Okay, let me put all these back in here. I'll do it again. I see them. They're on my side. Hold on. I put them in before y'all came, so maybe it didn't like that. All right, so links in the chat. Here's the first one. This is the video we're watching today. And the second one I'm going to put is where to open a Google Ad account. Here we go. That's next. And then the 3-hour long training online, bullseyebusinessblueprint.com. It's free. Go take it. And then the last one is Instructor's Dash. We will probably, by the end of next week, have a free version of Instructor's Dash and just a pay-per-use. So if that helps people out, if you want to use it and only pay when you sell a ticket, we're hoping that that will help reduce some costs for people, especially when they're signing up. So you see them in the chat now?
yes.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. Okay. So the second link is this page here, is where to sign up. Here's the thing. Where's the number at? Oh, here's the number. You don't have to do this. They will do it for you. Here's the phone number, 800-838-7971, and they will walk you through it. But please remember, these people are salespeople. Oh, you need to spend $90 a day, right, to figure out a budget and go with it. I do spend $15 a day on my Google ad, just FYI. Okay, so this is 20 minutes long. I don't think we're going to watch all 20 minutes of it. Again, the link is in the chat. You can go and watch it later. So again, this is for how to write copy. Again, somebody tell me what copy is. Is that using the printer?
It's
What's
your ad text.
it's your ad text? Very good. That's a great answer. Okay. When I hit play here, somebody give me a thumbs up and let me know you can hear it.
$12 million on Google Ads, working with hundreds of businesses across many different industries. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my favorite strategies, tips, and techniques for writing Google ad copy that gets people to click and, most importantly, convert. Now, when you advertise on Google, and the search network in particular, Google fixes all the variables. So you can't differentiate yourself by selecting a different font, or changing the color of the text within your ads, or changing even the size of the font. All those variables are fixed. The only way you can differentiate yourself from your competition is the copy, are the words that you actually write, and they become everything. They're essential to the success or failure of your Google Ad campaign. That's what's going to determine whether or not the campaign works, is the words that you include, particularly, as I said, on the search network. So they are absolutely vital. And in this video, I'm going to run through a number of things that you need to think about and techniques and things like that that's going to help you write better ad copy, get more clicks and more conversions. Okay, so I've got my notes in front of me. Let's run through this. So the first thing I mentioned is that you want there to be strong ad search and ad copy congruity. What I mean by that is you want to mirror the language that your prospects are using when they search in your ad. And you want to make sure that the exact words, to the extent that you can, talk a bit more about that in a second, that someone is searching for show up in your ad. And that is going to make it more likely that they click. That is going to make it more likely that they convert, because they'll see your ad and they will absolutely think, this ad is for me. This is exactly what I was looking for, because it's very close to what they search for. Now, just a little aside, you can go one stage further than that and then link someone through to a landing page that also has the same language, and that helps increase conversions as you go through the sales process. But this is really important. So for example, if we are bidding on the keyword Google Ads Agency, let's say we're advertising our own Google advertising services, we're bidding on that keyword, then we want to have copy, we want to have headlines in our responsive search ads that have the words Google Ads Agency. And if I just jump into a quicker example, Google Ads, a responsive search ad that got prepped, we could add in Google Ads Agency. And if within this ad set, that was our main keyword, that was the main keyword theme that we were looking to target, we could go one stage further, not just adding Google Ads Agency here, but actually look to go ahead and pin that in position 1, so that all the ads that we show are going to feature this headline, Google Ads Agency, those exact words. And that might be really important to what we're offering and mirror what people are searching for, like I mentioned with the congruity. Just in case you're unfamiliar, by the way, guys, the way responsive search ads work with headlines. Typically, you'd add in a whole bunch of options. You can see here Google saying you need to have at least 3. And then what Google will do is they will cycle through the various options and try and find the best performers and the best combos. So you can have a whole bunch in here, and then Google's going to find out the best 3. But you can choose, like I've just done here with Google Ads Agency, to just pin that one. And if that's what's mirroring your prospects' searches within Google, then that's great. Now, obviously, you can't get this completely right. We know the way that keywords and searches work in that they aren't the exact same things. I've got another video about that if you want to click on that link in the video description, talking about what actually is a keyword, because they don't mirror searches perfectly. We know that if we were targeting the keyword Google Ads Agency, our ad is also going to appear for people searching for things that are similar to Google Ads Agency, but not that exact word. So you can't do this perfectly, and I don't want you to stress about that and try and make it perfect, but you can do it to some extent, and this is exactly how we go about doing something like that. Having really good ad search and ad copy congruity, so the similarities between the two, also helps with your quality score, which is a metric that Google uses to assess the quality of your ads. And it actually affects what you end up paying on a cost per click basis, or how much you have to pay to be at the top of the page, for example, when people are searching for your various keywords. So that's really important. Again, I've got another video on quality scores and things like that, so I'll include a link to that in the video description in case you want a bit more information about that. But it's not only good from an advertiser standpoint, Google likes this as well. Point number 2 is that you want to include one clear call to action within the copy of your Google ad. Now, there are a number of different mistakes that Google advertisers make with this, and I'll show you an example of what I want you to do in a second. So firstly, some advertisers don't include a call to action at all within their Google ad copy. Big mistake. You definitely want one in there. People are more likely to take the action you want to take if you tell them to go and do it. Sometimes people do include them, Google advertisers do include a call to action, but it's a bit limp. It's sort of like, check out more information. Is that really going to get someone over the line? Not really. It wants to be quite direct, it wants to be clear, concise, and it also wants to be easily understandable. So don't use language or make assumptions in your call to action that people in your audience just will have no idea. The classic example of this, and this isn't necessarily Google Ads context, but it applies, I think a lot of people have experienced this, where you take a car to a car garage to get some sort of repairs done. And they give you a call, whatever, and they tell you, oh, it's this, this, and this. And you're like, I have no idea. I don't know car. I have no idea what you're talking about. But car people always seem to assume that regular people understand cars like they do, and they talk in that language.
I didn't understand a one word you said.
Don't do that in your Google ad copy, and definitely don't do it with your call to action. You want to be really clear and present it from a standpoint where people aren't going to be familiar with whatever it is they're needing to do, or the terminology or the language. So don't use any sort of inside language, industry terms, stuff like that. I've also seen advertisers include more than one call to action. Again, big mistake. That's just confusing. You want one clear call to action. Okay, so let me show you an example with this one clear call to action. So we've got a Google Ads Agency. Don't worry about that. There's going to be all sorts of jumbled up things. These are just examples. In this example, let's assume we're advertising roofing services, and the offer within the ad is a free roofing survey. Someone might think they've got a problem with their roof. They're searching for roofers, and they see this one that says, well, we'll come and have a look at your roof for free. And if there's a problem, then we can worry about it, but that's a good introductory offer. Or we could have this as a headline that's a call to action saying, book your free roof survey now. So it's really clear and obvious what it is. It's a free roof survey. Anyone can understand what that is. It's quite direct, saying book and now. This is quite direct language. It just about gets in with the 30 character limit. Sometimes with your call to actions, you won't be able to have them up in headlines. Sometimes you'll need to go and put them down in the descriptions down here, just because the character limit is that much larger, or 3 times as large. And sometimes based on what it is that you're asking people to do with the call to action, you just need more characters to be able to accurately describe it. We can just about fit this in, and we could have made this shorter if we needed to get rid of an out and things like that. Okay, so that's an example of one clear call to action. And now in our other headlines, I'll delete that out because it's looking a bit confused, isn't it? In our other headlines, we would not want to have other call to actions. Like, I've seen people have a direct call to action like that, and then they've got another one that's sign up for our free newsletter, and you think, no, get rid of that. That is not something that we want. That is not a good idea. Point number 3 is to include either your brand name or your product's brand name if there is positive brand recognition within your space, because it can really help improve the number of clicks you get and the number of conversions. And this sounds kind of silly, but I've seen large companies with a really recognizable brand name not heavily feature their brand name in their ads. And even smaller businesses that are, say, advertising, or they're selling products where the product itself comes from perhaps a different company that doesn't sell direct to consumer, but that product has a recognizable brand name and positive associations, and they're not really heavily featuring it. I've spoken before with companies that think, well, yeah, it's in the URL, people will see that. No. You want it clear, front and center in the headlines. If you're selling something that people instantly going to recognize, they're far more likely to trust that that product or service is going to deliver based on the brand name. Therefore, you want to make it there. That's why brand is valuable. That's why brand's important. Just a quick point. This won't apply to everyone, but one that you obviously want to get in there if it does apply to you, because it can make a big difference. And I've seen advertisers not include it. Okay, the next point is to emphasize benefits associated with your products and services, not just features. Most Google advertisers just focus on what their product or service has, but not necessarily what that then does for the customer. So yes, you want to include the features, but you want to, where possible, try and ladder it up to the benefit.
The best way to attract high-ticket coaching clients is not to spend all your time and money on social media content.
Let me give you an example where we're just focusing on the feature, which is not what we want to do, and then I'll change it and show you how we would write it instead if we were going to emphasize the benefit associated with that feature. So I'll give you a different business example here. So I'll start with the bad option. So let me delete that out. Let's say we're advertising an interior design business here. And this interior design business, they will obviously design home renovation, they will do all the design work and they'll manage the project. And that's the main sort of traditional interior design service, right? So you could have as a headline, if you're just focusing on the feature, we manage contractors for you. That is a feature of the service, that this interior design company will manage the contractors. And that's fine, but it's not as good as if we made it benefit rich. So a better version that's saying effectively the same thing is hassle-free home renovations. Because why does someone want an interior design company to manage all the contractors? It's because they don't want all the hassle of it. They want the outcome. They want a home that's renovated, that's now beautiful, that's now lovely, but they don't want to have to deal with these people and they're late and, you know, they want paying extra and there's a reason why they're delayed and it has a knock-on effect and, you know, these things can be a nightmare. So hassle-free, that is the benefit that we're looking to add in. So really important to not just focus on features, but include the why is that feature good? What does it get people? Does it save them time? Does it save them money? And does it save them headache? Does it help them achieve something they want to achieve? Really emphasize those benefits in your copy, both in your headlines and in your descriptions. So we can take the previous point and go one stage further and ladder up those benefits to higher level emotions, okay? So this really gets to the core of why someone wants to purchase your product service, why they might want to purchase your product service. So let's use another example here. So let's say you are selling gym memberships. Now, why does someone want to use the gym? So the gym membership, you can come in, use the gym, we have all this stuff, that's the feature. The benefit might be losing weight. I want to lose weight. That would be the benefit, just like we talked in the previous point. But why does someone want to lose weight? Laddering up to high level emotions is asking that why. Do they want to lose weight because they want to fit back into clothes that they can no longer wear? Do they want to lose weight because it's nearly summer and they want to look good on the beach and they didn't look good on the beach last year and they really didn't like it, they didn't want to take their clothes off, etc. So here's an example of how we would look to ladder up the benefit to the emotion. So let me delete out these examples here. And actually I've got an example here that we would pop in the description as opposed to the headline because we need the extra characters, and often when you're laddering up to high level emotions from a benefit, you're going to need the extra space that's going to go in the description. So something like this. Get Beachbody ready with 50% off gym membership today. So the feature is the 50% off gym membership, and we've gone straight to the high level emotions. It's not just lose weight, it's get Beachbody ready. That's why someone wants to lose weight. They didn't like it last year, and it's about to be summer, and when they're there with their friends or whatever, they want to look good, they want to feel confident. That's the higher level emotion. Now, when you keep going up the ladder of emotions, eventually you only get to a few different options that you can, you keep asking why, you only get to a few different options, sort of core human desires. And it's a desire for improved status, to be healthier, or to improve relationships is effectively it. So if you think about going through the example, okay, 50% off gym membership, why do they want to join the gym? To lose weight. Why do they want to lose weight? To look good at the beach. Why do they want to look good at the beach? Because they were embarrassed last time and they felt that negatively impacted their relationships with their friends. They couldn't join in as much, or maybe their partner was looking at them and they wanted to be more attractive, and right? So you end up with relationships or status in that scenario. You could even tie in health as well, of course. When you ladder up and you really think about it, you end up there. And it's good to think through your product or service. Like, what's the end goal of why someone buys this, right? With our Google Ads services, for example. We could be like, why does someone want to buy that? Right, well, they want better results from their Google Ads. Okay, why do they want that? Because they'll have a more successful business. Why do they want that? Because it's improved status, or they can then spend more time with their family. So it'd be status, relationships. Or maybe they're really stressed out and that'd be better for their health as well. Often you can make it work for a lot of them, but it's just good to think through those things. Now, if you're going through this thinking, this Google Ads stuff seems really complicated. I don't want to have to learn about all these various copy tips and techniques. I just want leads. I just want sales from my Google Ads. My company can do that for you. We can create, manage, and optimize your Google Ad campaigns. We can get you better results than if you do it yourself and take that workload off your hands so you can focus on other areas of your business and you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. If you're interested in that, there is a link in the video description. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website and book in a free call with one of my team members to find out more about our service. No obligation call, of course. You can find out more how we might be able to help. So if you're interested, go ahead and do that. And hopefully we'll be working together very soon. Okay, point number 6 is guarantees. And where possible, it's great to include guarantees in your Google Ad copy. And there's a number of different ways that you can structure a guarantee if you don't already have one and look to include it in your Google Ads. So the first and most simplest would be money back if you're not happy, right? So that might look something like this. If we jump it back into our campaign, this I'd like to put in a headline if you can.
Okay, I think that is enough. If you want to watch the next 8 minutes or so, I sent you the link. All right, is anybody in here currently running ads? Anybody at all? Okay.
I had one up for my class for this weekend, and it was not set right. I got 0 impressions.
You got...
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with it. It had me expand things to have better reach, and then I got 1 impression after that.
One impression?
Yeah, the area the class is in, a population of 3,500 people, so that might be why. But
Yeah.
either that, I think I just said it wrong.
3,500 people. That's kind of really small. What was your daily budget?
I think that one was only like $6. It was an experiment, so I didn't know how much to put in there.
And how long did it get to, how long did you get it to run for?
I think I had it up for about a week. So it might have been up for not long enough either.
So $6 total or $6 a day?
$6 a day.
That's not, I mean, that's a very reasonable budget. Do you know how many miles it was?
I think I did 15 miles surrounding the venue because that was where most of the population density was.
I think that's a little bit shy.
Okay.
I do 27, but I
Okay.
also live in a really dense, I live outside of DC and live in a very dense community. So my reach is like 500,000.
Yeah, mine, like my next class is in a much bigger area, and I've been playing around with setting another ad for that. And the for that town, for Stevens Point, it's only 88,000, I think is what it said for the radius it auto generated.
That's significantly different. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say you didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna say it's the reach.
Okay.
It's really tiny.
I live in a very sparsely populated part of Wisconsin, so I'm going to struggle with that.
How far do you think people are willing to drive to come to your class?
I would say people for probably no more than an hour is kind of my assumption at the moment. That's kind of standard for this area. I do plan to travel around to different parts of the state to try to kind of balance that out. So that's why, like Black River, I had a really good local contact there, so I used his marketing for most of it, and then my next one's more heavily populated area, but it's a big college town, so I don't know how much I'll get from that.
Okay. Oh, I lied. It's 33 miles.
Okay.
Not 27.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, and then I pin it. You can you can run, here's all the reports. This is a new feature. Like when you see you're running ads like in different locations. How long are your ads running for before your event?
I plan to do at least 2 to 3 weeks, if not longer. I'm not sure on that yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't go less under 3 weeks because it takes Google's AI to figure out what you want. It takes a week to run
Okay.
everything in the background. Um, so maybe I would do like $4 a day, but twice as long.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try that out.
Yeah. And then so this is a new feature too. So once you start running them, I mean, you're going to come back to the same venues. Let's say you have 5 venues and you circle around. Once you start running your ads, you know, your your data's really important. Like where, who, and where. Like most of my stuff comes from this place called Ashburn. It's a very, very wealthy city. It's probably one of the top wealthy cities in the country, and more than half come from there.
Okay.
Oh, this is interesting too. More than half. All of my stuff comes from Ashburn, and then the next one is DC. That's that's very interesting because I don't like to advertise a whole lot in DC. Huh. There you go. Learn something new. Let's go back in here and make sure I'm covering DC. Yeah, I'm covering all of DC is covered. So I would say that's a solid hour each direction. Maybe not quite. Let's go up a little bit. Let's do 36 miles. So I would say that's a 50-minute radius in each direction, just FYI.
Okay.
And you can also do zip codes too. If you know you're gonna just want to target like one particular, like really concentrated area, you can just type in the zip codes. But that takes forever. Like you have to look everything up. All right. What questions do we have about Google Ads? You're gonna have to get in there and make some mistakes. You're gonna have to get in there and play with some stuff, guys. And call and make an appointment, um, have them help you make it better. So just by watching that video, I'm gonna go in and tweak some of my call to actions. So this is my ad. It looks a little different than what he was showing. So here's my headlines. You remember you talked about headlines and then the descriptions. So I'm going to go in here. This, I was very sad. I've had this 25% off code running for 2 months and I don't think anybody has used it. So that's gone. Um, so my call to actions are weak. I can do better. So when I get off today, I'm going to go in and rewrite some of these to make sure the calls to actions are better, more direct. What do you call them? Weak? Soft? Weak? I forget what he called them. Mine are soft. They're not great. You get like, yeah, definitely needs to go in and work on those. What questions do we have? Anything for anybody? Not even including Google Ads, anything?
So Lisa, this is intended to get your class in front of eyeballs, or is this intended to improve the SEO to get people to come to your class, or all of the above?
Definitely all of the above. But a lot of it is, you ever looked up restaurants near me, whatever, right? This is, and then you see those, um, sponsored links. These are a sponsored link essentially, and they help with your ranking of your Google ad ranking. You really want to be in like the top 3, top 5. I'd
Yeah,
rather be in the
whenever
top
I
3.
do a permit to carry class near me or MNCCW, even though that's not what we call it, I'm on the first page every time. So it's kind of like, okay, my SEO is working,
Mhm.
but maybe I'm only working when people type in where's the closest class to me.
It's probably very true, and your keywords or your SEOs are really important. So I write blogs that I know
Yep.
nobody's ever going to read, but that increases the SEOs dramatically.
Yep. I got a whole bunch of those written up and posted. Yep.
That's probably why you're on the top page. Especially, I don't believe your competition is super great in your area, right?
Well, not for NRA classes, but for permit to carry, yeah, there's a lot of people doing permit to carries or CCWs, what other people call it.
Right.
There's a lot of competition for that.
Okay.
Do you have to update those blogs, or once you put them on there, they're kind of like evergreen and they just stay there?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that question, guys. Does anybody know uh, SEO life? That's a great question. I would
Uh,
assume, yeah,
yeah, I
Jay.
mean, this is it there's two things there. One is if it's going to a page, there are two things that Google and that they basically their algorithm looks for. One is stickiness, and that's the bounce rate. It's how long they stay on your site or your page or whatever you're going to. If they hit it and they're there for 2 seconds and they bounce, that tells Google that search result was not what they were looking for. If they stayed there a minute, 2, 3 minutes, you're golden. That tells Google, hey, we're returning good information based on this. That's more important even than the keywords. And the other thing to remember is you can't fool Google. There's just no way to cheat it. Just be honest, put it out there what you're looking for, and hopefully they'll hit it and they'll stick and they'll read it. And that's the thing about the blogs is they rate they give you a lot of rating based on fresh content, and they metric that content against other content. If you're just copying and pasting off of say NRA's page and 100 people do that, they'll rank you. But if you've got copy that no one else has got, i.e. those blog pages and so forth, that adds to your stickiness and you'll rate higher. Google's got a lot of metrics, but honesty and bounce rate are the two biggest things.
Oh, that's a great answer. Thank you. Okay. Uh, any questions, guys? I have homework to do.
Don't we all?
I
So
know.
do I.
Yeah. I'm like, oh
Hey,
my God,
Lisa, a
never happened.
comment. You know how in past weeks we talked about the BOI, business owners
Yeah.
information
Yep.
or beneficiaries, whatever?
Mhm.
Did you see the headline that they are canceling that?
Yeah, it's unconstitutional.
Well, it's like, well, okay, with all the executive orders going through, I just seen a headline that they were scrapping that whole
Good.
program.
You already have all of my information. Now I have to go. I had to do it 4 times, like for
Under
all my
threat.
companies. I'm like, oh my God.
Mhm.
I feel bad for people who paid people to do it.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. I seen that today.
Very good. Good news. Yes, JD.
I have a quick question. How much does the business license cost in Virginia? Or is it per city, like Hampton,
County.
for example?
I pay my county, and it's like $50 a year. I don't know what
I've been trying to find out, but it seems it's like trying to go down a rabbit hole.
Just call your courthouse or your clerk's office, and they can direct you.
Hey, I'd like to say thanks to everybody that liked my page. I'm up to like 9 followers now, so that's makes it look a little more legit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys, do you want to still keep doing these every Monday, or we just burning hours? Okay. I'm gonna commit to the rest of the month, and then I'm gonna reevaluate.
I would say that I have watched the ones I've not been here for any because of my Monday nights, but I've gone back and watched every video since I took your class, the instructor's class. So
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I've watched several of them too. I'm not always available Monday nights.
I do have, if anybody's trying to be a CCW, NRA CCW instructor, I got one Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you want to come hang out. It's intense. It's got a 40% fail rate on it, so please be a good shooter.
So that requires us to fly into DC. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, you want to come see me, hang
We'll
out?
we'll be right there. No
Yeah.
problem.
I drove up, what was it, 6 hours for the last one I went to. I'm in Abingdon, Virginia, which is the exact far opposite corner of the state.
Oh, I'm so honored when people fly in or drive real far to come hang out with me. It just blows my mind.
Took me about 4 hours
Yeah, Steve, yeah, you drove
from
from Virginia
Hampton.
Beach.
I want to take that course, but I'm in the middle now of IDPA, range safety officer, referee coursing right now. So I got to get through all of that. There's a lot of rules to IDPA. So
Okay.
That's
I
my
have one in
plan too,
September.
to get a range safety officer cert.
I have an RSO course in 3 weeks. Yeah. 3 weeks? 2 weeks? Hold on. And I only have like one seat left. It's full. The 16th in 2 weeks I have it.
that's when I have the IDPA.
If you want to come to that, you can. It's not a long class, it's just a full day, 9 to 5 or 6. It's kind of boring. It's actually the one I hate to teach, the worst one I hate.
The one you
I
hate the
like
most.
teaching it the least. It's just boring. It's like, oh my God, it's so boring. Okay. It's 8:31. Anything else? Last calls. Okay, guys. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great
All right.
week, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa?